FiredUp Network. Welcome back to the NHL Lowdown part whatever you want to call it, two in Spanish, in English, in anything you want to say, okay? Mark Freitas back. Mark, you shaved. Must be a loss
Yeah,
coming up. All right.
I did. What was the name you called me before we came on air?
Yeah, Mark Cole.
Oh my!
Yeah. Oh my, that's right. Oh my. Get rid of this, the soul patch, right?
Man, I haven't done this look since I was in high school, and I had a full head of hair.
You
So that
just
was like
graduated from high school 2 days ago. Come on. All
like
right.
7 years ago.
With Marty Roberts, also Marty working hard like me all day today. Come on. And Justin Levine here. All right. So Mark and Justin, first of all, the Hockey Night in Canada game, Edmonton, Winnipeg. Both you guys said Winnipeg. Of course, I said Edmonton will win in a shutout.
You did not.
And and Marty, what was the score you said, or who did you say will win?
I said Edmonton to win and Smith to come up big, and it looks like I was right on both of those again.
All right, so hold on. Kudos to Marty. Now listen, Marty is hot right now, okay? Marty, give me 6 numbers, 649 right now. I'll go to the store right now, get stopped by the cops, but at least I have $10 million in my hand, so go ahead. 649.
I can only pick 2 numbers at a time, so you got to find the other 4.
All right, so Edmonton, big, right, Maple Leafs are breathing a sigh of relief here because right when Winnipeg could go a point back, they don't look too good today. And Edmonton crawling up, and this can be a first round matchup. What did you think of overall? Let's start off with Marty. This game, Edmonton and Winnipeg.
Yeah, Edmonton definitely helped the Leafs out here, didn't they? By winning today and not allowing the Jets to get within that one point of first place of them. So I thought Edmonton was going to win just because you have those 2 big guns there, and it looks like Tyson Barrie had a big game as well, and Smith just happened to play better in the pipes than Hollebuck did today.
All right, Justin.
Edmonton played like a real winner, like a contender, like a team that has intentions of going to the playoffs. That wasn't something I expected to see from them tonight. I expected to see Winnipeg score early and score often, and that was not something they did, and it just seemed to work in Edmonton's favor. And, I mean, kudos to them. Their offense was clicking. It just seemed that they were overall the stronger opponent, and, you have to give credit where it's due to shut down a team like Winnipeg, who's been on a hot streak as of late.
And obviously, Edmonton did not play for a few days. So, Mark, go ahead. That's why Mark shaved, by the way. Mark Cole there, soon-to-be former announcer with the WWE. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, the hashtag Mark lost, and I'm kidding. No, the Oilers, wow, it's good. They did the Leafs a favor. So now they're 3 points back of the Jets for that second spot. And we got the Leon Draisaitl show tonight. I think that guy had 3 points. I also know this because my opponent had him in fantasy, so I got slapped. Yeah, Mike Smith, Billy's favorite hockey player. Marty, I said Billy. Marty's favorite hockey player. Look at me. It's the Saturdays.
Billy's favorite hockey player you don't know is William Nylander. Come on.
Are you kidding me? Billy's favorite hockey player is I can't remember now. But anyway, no. But seriously,
the hair, man, it's the hair.
It is. No, but seriously, Marty's favorite goalie, Mike Smith, getting a shutout, and the Oilers are rolling. Tyson Barrie, I think, had 2 assists tonight. He had a goal. He had a goal and assist. Yeah. So he's kind of picking it up.
We talked earlier on the pregame, the NHL lowdown. Start off with Justin here. Minnesota Wild, sleeper team, beating 5-1 San Jose end of second period. Oh, wow. But let's give a shout-out to tying the record, Patrick Marleau, 1,767 NHL games. That's almost as much as 17,000 hairs that Mark shaved today. But go ahead, Justin, speak about that game.
He's right.
Yeah, so Patrick Marleau did something evidently special tonight because the only other player to reach that plateau is Gordie Howe. So quite an accomplishment on his behalf. And when you look at their offensive records, obviously Gordie did more in that respect, but hitting the same game plateau and being the only other person to do that on the National Hockey League stage is really something special and something to be proud of. So, I mean, I've been watching him his entire career from the Sharks to the Leafs and, now to where he is. So just, an incredible effort. And, I mean, the milestone is just amazing. So I hope to see him do a little bit more before he decides to hang up the skates and call it quits.
And how about Minnesota again, quickly, Justin?
Yeah, so Minnesota, again, I talked about this earlier, is the fact that a player I've liked a lot for them specifically has been Kaprizov. And I find that he's been arguably the offensive leader for this organization from the get-go of the season. And there were high expectations in place with him, and he's really led this franchise. So he's someone I would expect to see continue to push this team into a potential playoff spot if they continue to play the way that they have been.
All right, so Marty, what did you? First of all, let's give a shout out to Patrick Marleau, former Toronto Maple Leafs. So he joins the alumni. Borja Soming's birthday today, the King. Happy birthday, King! I said it 3 days ago. Let's favorite player Borja Soming, but go ahead.
Yeah, at least he's in the Gordie Howe mix. He didn't wait till he's 50 years old to do it like Gordie did. Right? How old was Gordie when he finally got that
72?
Like he was up there. So Marleau is a class guy. So I'm glad that he got that record. And unfortunately, they're not winning tonight. Minnesota, like you guys said, might be the sleeper of the playoffs coming up, and we'll see if they can. But winning 5-1 over San Jose today is a good start towards that.
Michael Cole, go ahead.
Yeah. Jesus, you know what? That threw me off of Michael Cole, first of all. So thank you again, Joe. Appreciate that. No, Minnesota.
This is an NHL show. Why are you wearing a Blue Jay hat? Come on. Look at Marty changing hats, going from baseball to hockey. Come on. You should get a hat here.
Well, see. Now back to Minnesota.
You're off your game. Come on.
Very. No, but back to Minnesota. No, they're a very good team, and honest to God, they could make noise in the playoffs. And I guess for Marleau, no, it's great that he's gotten to where he's at. It's a shame he doesn't have a cup. That guy deserves a cup, but at least he has 2 gold medals, Team Canada. So you know what? He's had a great career, so hopefully he can keep going because I think he still has a little bit left in the tank. I think maybe he should have got traded.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't think if he does come back next year, it should be with San Jose. I think a different team, Tampa.
All right, so another 5-1 game at the end of second period. Columbus is at it again. John Tortorella, I don't think he's going to be coaching Columbus anymore, but Dallas showing up 5-1, beating Columbus. Anybody want to take a stab at that game?
Did he bench Line or what?
Doesn't matter if he benched him or not. It's his last couple games. Like, do you think, honestly, and this is rumors that I just heard today, he's gone, but that leaves the door open for him to coach in Seattle? Do you think that
I don't know. I don't know. Do you think Seattle would take him?
Well, let's give it to Justin first.
I'd rather they not do that and start their franchise on the right foot. I'm not someone who loves Tortorella. I don't believe his intentions are always the greatest. And as we saw within the first couple of days of Laine's new tenure with Columbus, benching him and not being clear was not okay very clearly. And regardless of what Laine did, it's very small, but these guys are getting paid the big bucks. You don't bench them. And not only that, but the outbursts that he has, if you want to put that representation on a franchise, by all means do the wrong thing and go do that, but I don't want to see that. So that would take all my interest away from watching a franchise build.
Marty?
Yeah, I don't think he'd go there.
Yeah, Tort's type of coaching has a short shelf life. I think it's reached the end of that. Whether he finishes up this year or not, he's gone no matter what at the end of the season. if he makes it out that far. I can't see Seattle leaning towards him. I did read earlier on, I don't know if it's still the case, but they were looking at hiring Babcock as the coach over in Seattle.
Yes, they
so,
were.
Right, so I don't know if that's still the case, but I would guess they already know who they want, and he's not the guy that they want to lead that franchise when they first start up.
I do think it's going to be Babcock. I think Babcock.
I believe it will be Babcock also, but let's talk about I don't know. Let's talk about maybe Justin could start this off. Ottawa played some team today. What was the score?
That was a score that I just don't want to see again, because there were people who, much like me, agreed that that was a bad game. The production was low, and if you take a look at some of the fire charts, you see that there was no puck movement. There one shot at the end of the first period. Come on, what kind of team is this? And so, final score in today's game at the Bell Center was 4-0 in Ottawa's favor. The return of Victor Mete to the Bell Center, this time wearing a Senators jersey. My God, what a bad game! Carey Price deserved better in his return. I don't even want to talk about this nonsense.
Hold on, Justin. Show your emotion. You seem very happy. You're saying low key about this. Show some fire here. Show, be like the Montreal coach. He comes out 2 games ago and says this is terrible action. What did you think of the game overall? Show some fire here. This is your team. This is the team that's going to beat the Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs. They have the best player, Cole Caulfield, that's not even playing. He's better than Rick Carter.
Okay,
Joe's pushing it with that comment there. First of all, Justin, tell me how you really feel.
Let me add this. They said Cole Caulfield was going to play today. I saw him sitting in the press box with Jake Evans and Brendan Gallagher. Mark Bergevin, can you tell me why that happened? So there's number one. Number two, Tyler Toffoli, did you fall asleep? Did you die? Did you disappear? What happened? 2 goals yesterday, nothing today. I'm sorry. You're paid the big bucks to score. I know you have 21 goals, and that must be tiring with your big bags of money and everything, but, I mean, come on. So, Carey Price, wake up. I mean, I know this wasn't your fault, but, I mean, still. So those are my.
So we have a request if you could talk in French and say to Montreal, because the whole team needs to hear it bilingual, French and English. So go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to.
I'm not going to do it to you. I'm not going to do it. You're a good guy.
All I'm going to say is tabernacle. And for those of you who know what that means, you're welcome. That's it.
I guess you could say now he knows how it feels to get shut out by the Columbus Blue Jackets in an important game.
Yeah, really.
All right, Mark, go ahead. Take control since you're interrupting Justin's thoughts. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mark,
sorry. That's what Michael Cole does. I got to learn from the school of Michael Cole. No, but I don't know. I find that Ottawa plays well against like Montreal and Toronto, and they always give them a hard time. It's kind of no surprise there. Justin, don't take it personally now because it's just Ottawa. But now Montreal's going to focus on the next few games, and who's it going to be against? The team behind them. Oh, yeah, the Edmonton Oilers, and then the next important ones are the next 3 next week against the Calgary Flames. And if the Habs continue to struggle, and if Calgary can sweep them in those 3 games, Calgary bumps out Montreal for that final spot for a bit.
Sweep Montreal. Come on.
All right, Joe, I'll bet you that. I think Calgary's going to sweep Montreal.
If that happens,
hold on. What do I get? I'm going to take that bet, and then I'll do my hair like some Portuguese guy. Come on. So
I will take that bet. I will personally take that bet with you. We'll do it next week.
Wait a minute. I need to know what I'm going to win.
We'll figure it out as the day goes on.
Think about it. Think about it. I'll go to Marty. Think about it. I'll give you 20 seconds while Marty says his thoughts about the La Habitant.
Sounds good.
Price first game back obviously wasn't one of his best. 14 shots and only 11 saves. So that was a bit not what Montreal fans were expecting from his return. And like Justin said, a few of the other players just did not show up. Now, Ottawa, for their credit, they do, like Mark said, play well against the Leafs and the Canadians. They pick up their game, and I've said it before, in the next few years, Ottawa is going to be a team that will be fighting for the top of whatever division they're in. They have a lot of good young guys coming up, and they're showing in spurts this year, and unfortunately it was against the Montreal Canadiens. They decided that today.
Tim Stützle, Justin, you want to touch on him? They're giving him, all joking aside about Caulfield and all that, but they put this guy from day one, and, he's a rookie and everything, but he's learning. He's learning, and he scored a goal and everything, and it can only help Ottawa in the long term.
Yeah, like you said, he's still taking those learning strides, but he's taking them very easily and just kind of going along with it. DJ Smith has done a great job developing him thus far on North American ice, which he obviously hasn't been used to, having played previously in Germany. So seeing that his offensive production with Mannheim in Germany has essentially not really taken much of a backseat since arriving in Ottawa is absolutely incredible. And he, again, we talk about the youth movement, and that's certainly been happening in the nation's capital. And he's been a huge part of why Ottawa's been able to stay on their feet, per se. And so I've been really impressed. And again, this organization, they made some trades earlier on, then they go and get Mede at the deadline via waiver claim, and they're just a team that's not giving up, despite having been the doubted team. And you know what, North Carolina, or should I say the Carolina Hurricanes, they were. So Ottawa's making a quick comeback on their own end. And so, they, like Mark and Marty both reiterated, and I'll say this again, they play well against Montreal and Toronto, and we've certainly seen that. And with Tim Stützle being the future of that organization, we're going to see that for many years to come.
And let's face it, they're going to get another high pick this year also. So they're going to build and build. And who was it a couple months ago said, in a couple years, they're going to be better than the Maple Leafs are now, right? I forgot who said that, but let's talk about another thing. And Justin, you'll start us off here. We have a Twitter group and all that where we talked about the CHL. Sportsnet has bought out the CHL. They were going to have them till 2025-26. That's when Andrew and Mark were going to be like 21 years old. So they're 2025-26. Now TSN is going to be announced, or maybe it has been announced, but it will be announced in the next week or two, that they signed a 3-year deal with the CHL. From what I hear, TSN has plans to air it on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. OHL, like, remember, Marty, you probably remember this. OHL game of the week, Saturday, Sundays. It was on Global, CHCH, and everything like that. When we were youngsters. That's what TSN wants to have, and they're going to build it around. TSN has the coverage of the World Juniors. Okay, so they're going to do it up until the World Juniors, and then they're going to put the World Juniors, and then they're going to do Friday, Saturday, Sundays after the World Juniors. What do you think of that concept? Let's start off with Justin.
This just continues to showcase the bright young talent across Canada when you look at how they're planning to do this, as they spotlight different leagues across Canada, being the W, the Q, and the O, along with the World Juniors. They already have strong content when it comes to prospects in their essential leaders, which are, Craig Button, who's the head scout at TSN, and then there are guys like Bob McKenzie, who is semi-retired and still rocking it. So, it's just, again, it continues to show that, there's so much we can do here in Canada, and so much we can afford to see, so much we can afford to do. And most importantly, I always say this, and it's not just about the niche that I've grown my career in around women's hockey, but just hockey in general, grow the game. And this is how you're going to continue to grow the visibility of junior men's hockey in Canada. And so having these kids getting the opportunity to be aired on Canadian national television is absolutely fantastic, and an opportunity that they're not going to take lightly. They're going to work hard, and it's going to showcase why these kids deserve a spot in the NHL. So an absolutely huge thing. And that announcement from TSN is an impending announcement. It's been reported for about a week now, roughly, that this was happening. It was really just a matter of time, but really a great thing. And that being said, it was only a matter of time before Sportsnet bought out the contract after these reports first hit the surface. Given that there is more detail to this announcement. Again, don't know when it's coming. It sounded like it might be this weekend, but now might not be till next week or something like that. But nonetheless, for the CHL, it just continues to be another great move on the business side to showcase their talent that happens on the ice.
All right. Before I get to Marty here, from what I have heard, I heard two people this weekend said they want to announce it next week, but then because no Memorial Cup, they were going to announce it the week of the Memorial Cup. So that's the latest I have heard there, because, and I'll have more details. I know Justin's interested in this, but I'll have more details after Marty who's, by the way, what does Billy call you? The bearer of Barry or something like that.
Yeah,
Baron of Barry.
Baron of Barry.
Yeah, so Barry, of course, OHL country there and all that. How do you think, because you probably go to some OHL games and everything like that, how do you think that can, TSN, Sportsnet did a good job, but TSN, when you think of hockey, and specifically the World Juniors and covering it, and like Justin said, with Bob McKenzie and Craig Button and all that, even though they lost the national for hockey, but they've been doing an amazing job with junior hockey and everything like that for years. You're from Barry, how do you think of this pending announcement?
I hope TSN does a little bit different than what Sportsnet was doing. I hope they, instead of just doing these games of the week, they show, because they got 5 different channels. How about we do games in each channel from different teams in the different leagues, so we can see more of these games, more of these teams play, and more of these players, because there is some pretty good players in these leagues that not everyone get to see, that playing in Sault Ste. Marie, Sudbury, North Bay, that we don't get to see. We don't get to see here players in Quebec in the Western Hockey League. So I would like to see from all over the country these top junior players play, and I'm hoping TSN does that more so than what Sportsnet was doing, just one single game for their game of the week.
Mark?
Yeah, I agree with everything that Marty said there. They should, because when I was a kid, the Sportsnet would show a lot of, CHL games. So like, whenever Mississauga would play, they'd be on Sportsnet or they'd be on Rogers TV. And then obviously ever since Rogers TV went out of business in Peel, the games have only been on – no, actually Mississauga didn't have a TV deal, to be honest with you guys. So ever since the Rogers TV left Mississauga, they've only been on Sportsnet, but they haven't been on as much. So I think it's good for, teams like Mississauga, like North Bay, and Barry, because like we've all been, because Barry, Mississauga, and a few of the other teams are all on Rogers TV at the time, and then when those left, so it's good for TSN to do this, because then it gives those teams more of an exposure. And I was thinking, excuse me, I was thinking that TSN should have done this years ago after they lost the rights, because then you could broadcast so many games on the 5 channels, and then you could also do a back-to-back. Like example, like for Sundays, example, like Mississauga would play at 2:00, and then after the game's done, the Generals would probably play like 6. So you kind of just shift over to that. But we'll see how they do it, and hopefully they could, grow junior hockey more than what it used. Because if you remember, junior hockey used to be the biggest hockey in Canada 20 years ago, and the game's been dead ever since.
I know for a fact, like they want to use the old global CHCH Saturday afternoons, 1:00, 4:00, and I'll be interested to see if sometimes, maybe one time a month or whatever, they go like in Ontario Hockey League. I'm not saying Western Hockey League's not good or whatever, but on Ontario, the Leafs not playing right today because of COVID or whatever. Would you watch at 7:00 an Ontario Hockey League game or Edmonton Winnipeg? We'll go around the table. Marty.
I would watch an OHL game. I love watching OHL players play. I've had the privilege of knowing a few of them that played in the OHL for a few years, and they've now moved on from it. But I used to go and watch it. It's watching these players wanting to get to that spot where the NHL is. So they bust their tail, they work hard, and they don't take any shifts off. So I really enjoy watching junior hockey, sometimes more than I do the NHL.
Mark.
Yeah, that's what I used to do with my dad. We used to go. I'd go watch OHL. I'd go with my dad on the weekends at the Leafs when I'm playing, because Mississauga. Fun fact: Mississauga used to have Saturday games before they changed the scheduling, and then no, we'd go up to, we'd take road trips. We'd go to Barrie to watch Mississauga. If they're up there, go to Brampton. If it was a nice way to watch games, and I definitely, back in the day, I would. Now I wouldn't, because it's just I got older, and the OHL kind of lost my interest after a few years. So, but when I was younger, definitely it was something that I used to love it. I would, as you guys can see in my room of the old OHL stuff I have, I'd choose that.
I don't see any OHL there. I see like Percy.
It's funny though. I have it on the side of my room, but I have a poster signed by the whole St. Mike's team. It's got Cizikas, Smith Pelly, Stuart Percy's on there, former first-round pick. It's got a few NHL guys on there. So it's
all right,
nice.
Justin, what do you think? And I got news for Justin after you give me your thoughts.
Why don't you start with the news? Why don't we start there?
No, you give me your thoughts then, and then I'll give you the news.
Smart.
This guy can't wait. He's not patient.
No, I'm really not. So, anyways, what's
Sportsnet giving away buying out the OHL is going to lead to Sportsnet having ladies hockey.
I think that's great. You know me, big advocate for the women's game. So
hold on. See, I knew so you're the perfect person to talk about this. Is it the PWHPA? Is it the NWHL? Is it the WHL? Is it whatever? Because there has to be one league here, okay? Enough with this two leagues, and half the ladies play and half the ladies are going on skating tours or whatever. So there has to be one league. When do you think one league hockey will be played? And now that they potentially could get Sportsnet, don't you think it's about time somebody comes to the table and say, okay, we're going to have one league, 10, 12 teams?
Okay, first of all, 10, 12 teams might be a stretch to start. I would actually start smaller, much like the CWHL, who had about 6 teams, maybe 7. Anyways, it was 6 teams. Anyways, point being, TSN, if that's going to make the way for ladies hockey or women's hockey, as it's better known as, my guess is because TSN doesn't have a deal or partnership with anything else, is that they're going to do exclusive coverage of the Toronto Six. That's my best guess. Again, I know nothing here. This is just me answering your question based off what I think. And then because Sportsnet and CBC have some joint deal with the PWHPA, but in terms of when do I think one league is going to come together, it's anyone's guess. I'd like to say the next couple of years, and I think that Jana Hefford and Ty Tumminia taking this offseason to really talk it out and at least start putting logistics together, whether it be 2 years out, 3 years from now, which is somewhere around my best guess. I'd say 4 is probably the max until that happens, though I'd like to think it's going to be sooner than that, because every year that some of these ladies sit out is just a waste of talent, which has been publicly said. And again, enough with the divide. Let's mend our fences here, and let's make the game better for everyone. So again, it would be great for visibility for the growth of women's hockey on the national stage, both for television Canada and the US. But enough talk. Let's time whatever we're doing. It's time to do it.
I have breaking news. This is earth-shattering news. This is the type of news that Marty Roberts lists for.
Let me guess. Can I guess? Is it
you're interrupting?
The Buffalo Sabres are officially eliminated from the
Stanley Cup playoffs? Yes. Michael Cole and me go way back. All right, go ahead. Say it again.
Yeah, so the Buffalo Sabres have been eliminated from the playoffs for the 10th year in a row.
No, they're the first team. The first team this year to be officially eliminated.
They're the first team eliminated, might I add. Sorry, thank you for my colleague. But yeah, so
hold on, hold on. So let me get this straight. Just because Michael Cole doesn't know how to promote. Okay, so there's 37 games played by the Buffalo Sabres this year. 37 games. They're officially done. If this was a normal 82-game season, 37 is less than half of the season, and now you're not even in the playoffs. Now, in honor of that, Marty wants to do a moment of silence for the Buffalo Sabres. All right? Let's do a moment of silence, Buffalo Sabres.
That's all they get.
All right?
That's all they get.
If Andrew was here, he would be eating the buffalo chicken wing. All right, so Marty, I'll start off with you. All kidding aside, terrible trade with Taylor Hall, who has 2 goals, unless he scored again or whatever. 2 goals already. That meaning his high was for Buffalo with 2 goals. All right? If you are the GM or somebody in the Buffalo Sabres next year, end of this year, what do you do?
The GM gets fired. That's what happens there. Like someone else has to step in here because the decisions that they've made for years now have just been the wrong decisions, and they're trying to do things, and then they do them, and they backtrack, and they trade guys away for nothing, for picks that aren't going to be worth anything. I think the GM has to take accountability here, and he needs to be shown his walking papers.
Justin.
He said it best. GM gone. Ownership. Okay, first of all, those owners, Tim and Terry and Kim Pegula, sorry, they're just awful. I'd love to say the same.
They made the Buffalo Bills, man, going to the Super Bowl. How do you have a team who goes to the conference final in football and a team who lays an egg in hockey? Justin?
No, Justin froze Stadium. There's so many issues with the Pegula ownership. Don't even get me started. And we're seeing that with the way they've cleaned house. They got rid of their GM, which started this all in Botterill, and then they got rid of literally everyone else. Their scouting department, their AHL coaching staff, head coach, some of their coaching staff, and it's a freaking mess. And so I'm not the least bit surprised. And so they need a new GM, they need a new coach, they need new scouts, and
they need new players.
How about a new city?
Honestly, a new city, it's a matter of time, honestly, if you want the truth. Look, they couldn't even hold the National Women's Hockey League's Buffalo Buttes. That said very loudly to me, there's an issue. And then with the naming rights of the Bills Stadium, another issue, which took months to resolve. Then, again, the in-house operations of the Buffalo Sabres, yeah, this family's not impressing me at all.
Mark?
It's a mess that not even Bounty could clean up. But no,
he's trying to be funny. He's trying to be funny. By the way,
I like that.
Hold on. By the way, Mark, you're the one who hogged all the toilet paper because now we're in lockdown, weren't you? You're the one who hogged all the Bounty toilet paper.
No, I think that was Andrew from all the chicken wings. No, but honest to God, they suck. Like, they're really bad. And like I agree with what both of you guys said. They need a new GM. When they got rid of their other GM, they should have hired a hockey mind GM, not someone who's an assistant. They could have hired someone who would have, like Mark Hunter, I think would have been great for Buffalo. But they're just a mess, man. Like, Eichel's going to be gone after the season. We all know that. Skinner's contract is brutal. They have no goaltending. They have no defense. What do you do with Darlene? What do you do with all these guys? Like, I don't know. Remember this city? Remember all those years ago, Joe and Marty and Justin, when Toronto was really bad and our best players are Jamal Mayers and Brad May? Yeah, well, that's Buffalo now. And I don't even think the worst players ever want to go to Buffalo.
Mayday. Rick Janorak, come on, man. All right.
Yeah.
So when we talked about ladies hockey, and I know Marty is enthralled by this, Justin, any word on the Toronto Six?
Nothing to share as of now. Might not have something for several weeks, but season 7 is officially in the works. So I don't know. We'll see what comes of it.
And who's the media guy there?
That would be me.
So Marty, are you going to ask Justin live on air in front of millions? And millions.
Oh my!
For a media pass for Toronto 6.
I would expect it to be in the mail to me.
Hold on, Marty. I'm going to put you to work, Justin.
It will be.
You need a bus driver for Toronto 6. There you go. There's your bus driver for the Toronto 6. There you go, Marty. See, I got you another job.
Perfect. I'm full of jobs now.
We shall see.
All right. So let's just look ahead as we close out this edition of the NHL Lowdown. Tomorrow, of course, at noon, Washington, Boston. You know why this is? Zdeno Chara coming back to Boston there at noon. At 3 p.m., the Rangers and Devils, Pittsburgh, and the Buffalo Sabres, soon to be Kentucky Sabres. Vegas Golden Knights, 4 p.m. against Anaheim. 6:30, the Rangers and Islanders and Flyers. And, of course, at 7, Maple Leafs from Vancouver. We may do a pregame show tomorrow for the Maple Leafs, Vancouver. But in case we don't, let's start off here. Marty, you'll start us off. Vancouver, Maple Leafs. What's your call here? Because Vancouver's been off for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, if Toronto doesn't come out and just stomp all over them, it'll be a sad state if they don't. Vancouver not playing for 3 weeks and they're still going to be exhausted because we've seen how other athletes, when they come back from this, take a while to get their feet back under them, get their wind back. I expect them to win by 3, 4, maybe even 5 goals tomorrow.
That means they're lucky to be barely winning by a goal.
Yeah,
all right, Mark.
right.
Yeah, Leafs are going to run wild. I mean, run wild all over the Canucks. Well, we know Jack Campbell's in that, so I'm expecting a bounce back from the suit man himself. I'm expecting a big game from Mr. William Nylander, Billy's favorite guy, because, you know. And then, I think the Leafs are going to come out with a big, nice little 5-1 win. What do you think of that?
Justin, what do you think of that? This guy's crazy, isn't he?
I'm always crazy.
I don't know. I'm maybe 3-1.
3. So you're saying the Leafs going to win?
I'm saying the Leafs are going to win.
All right.
They're going to run wild on these guys. Yeah.
So getting back to Vancouver for a second, I'll start off with you, Justin. Do you think it's fair that they play because some players still don't want to play? I don't know if you saw the interview with Travis Green, the coach of the Vancouver Canucks. He didn't look too good also, right? So what do you think? Should the NHL put a hiatus on the Vancouver Canucks and just play matchups between the 4 teams who are pretty much guaranteed in the North Division?
I don't think it's fair that the Vancouver Canucks are having to return under these circumstances and play what I understand to be 19 games in 32 days or something like that is what I heard. So I don't think the players are ready for a return. I don't think this organization is prepared in terms of safety measures. I think there's still a lot to figure out. And then in terms of standings, it's not going to affect the standings by any means, but it's just in terms of competition, the Vancouver's going to get blown into the water. They're going to, have injuries to deal with, a lot going on. So, I don't know if now's the time.
All right. So I'll go around the table here, and this is a final question around the table. Should the North Division, forget about these other divisions because we're Canadian A and all these North Division Canada, should they not play the playoffs in Canada and move to the United States, have a bubble or whatever? Marty.
If we're talking North Division should just do the bubble here in Canada, and then once they're done that, move to the South bubbles. But I think that the North playoffs should be done in Canada until they move to the third round and go south.
Right, Mark.
Yeah, I agree with what Marty said. They not even because it's only 4 cities that they'll be in, so the travel is fine, whatever, back and forth. But yeah, I agree with what they said. What Marty said, if they do a bubble, it'd be great, because we all know there will be a bubble for the Canadian teams once they go to the third round. So
okay, and Justin, and one final thing. So let's say the Leafs finish with the best record in the league, okay?
Yep.
So you're telling me the Leafs Stanley Cup is not going to play played at Scotiabank? They're going to put them in a bubble?
Oh, it would be the most Leaf thing ever. I've already said if the Leafs win, I said last year, if they win this year or last year, it's the most Leaf thing ever because there's no fans and we can't celebrate.
All right, Justin?
Sorry, what was the question?
I don't remember. I actually don't remember. All right. So, Marty, I'll start off with you here. Tell everybody how they get a hold of you, because I think somebody's calling you in the next door. So,
yeah, someone's calling me really quick. I hear it. It's banging on the door.
Yeah, it's banging. Okay, hurry up before it comes out.
My Twitter is back up and running, so it's at OLefty22. You can reach me there.
All right, Justin.
At Justin Levine HBS, content at Puck Authority 1, and at the Toronto 6.
All right, thanks, Justin. Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, so my Twitter's been running all day. It's Mark Freitas 4, and then my YouTube is Mark Freitas, I've got I'm gonna have an article up either today or tomorrow for the Leafs on their playoff lineup. What does it look like?
Playoff lineup. What if they don't make the playoffs?
You don't say that because you know they will. So,
all right, enough talking, Mark. This guy has to go, or he's right. Look at him rocking back and forth like
he's gonna run. It's like he has to go to the washroom.
So stay tuned. Stay tuned for more great programming here on the Fired Up Network tomorrow. Thanks a lot, Justin, Mark, and Marty.
Thanks,
guys. See ya.